Hello. Thank you for joining Parkinson Voice Project for today's online Speak Out Home practice session. My name is Samantha Allenderry. I'm a speech-language pathologist and the founder of Parkinson Voice Project. I'm here to help you learn how to do the exercises and also help you establish and maintain a consistent Speak Out home practice routine. It is important that you are doing your Speak Out exercises every day. Today's topic, Niagara Falls. Everybody say that with intent. Ready? Niagara Falls. Say it again, but really project your voice forward. Ready? Niagara Falls. And like we do for every session, we practice smiling with intent. So everybody give me a nice big smile. I will be in Niagara Falls next week. I think many of you know that I am taking a vacation with my husband. We are going to Canada, but you will have your practice next week. I've recorded sessions for all next week, and so they will come up live at the regular time, and then the recordings will be available. At Parkinson Voice Project, we love it when family members visit our clinic. And if you are in the Dallas area and you are here on a Monday through Thursday, I encourage you to come visit our clinic. Yesterday, we had a wonderful visit by a family from England for one of our Speak Out graduates who's been in our program for 12 years. And so Graham's grandson, Lachlan, is going to start us off with our exercises. Look at this really cute video.
Hi everyone, are you ready to do your Speak Out exercises?
Yes.
Isn't that great? We gotta watch it again. Let's watch it again.
Hi everyone, are you ready to do your Speak Out exercises?
Well, are you ready to do your Speak Out exercises? I hope so. Thank you, Lachlan. Let's all take a sip of water with intent. I love it when the families come to visit. Let's start off with the first Speak Out exercise, the warm-up. Lift your voice and project it up over your computer or your television set. Ready? May, me, my, mo, moo. Let's do it again. May, me, my, mo, moo. Project the voice forward. Be deliberate. Here we go. May, me, my, mo, moo. Let's do it again. May, me, my, mo, moo. And now I want you to stretch out the vowels. Here we go. May, me, my, mo, moo. Good. Take a sip of water. How are we doing, Lachlan? Are we doing the exercises correctly? Everyone, if you have not logged into the chat, I shouldn't say log in. All you need to do where it says type in your nickname, put in your first name and where you are from. It is so neat to see where everybody is practicing from, and we're making friends with other people who are determined not only to speak and swallow with intent, but to live with intent. Let's go on to Speak Out exercise number 2, the ahs. Deliberately open your mouth wide and project that ah up and forward. Ready? Ah. Let's do it again. Is your mouth open wide enough? Sometimes with Parkinson's, the movements are very small. We think about smaller walking, but the way the mouth and the facial muscles are working, they're small. So you need to exaggerate and know that it probably won't feel to you like it really is. So you might feel like you have your mouth really wide open, and it's not. But deliberately open your mouth. Ready? Good. Let's do a shorter one. And one more. Good job. Go ahead and take a sip of water. I am curious as to what device you're using to do these exercises. In the chat, will you let us know? Are you on your desktop computer, an iPad, your television set, using a cell phone? We notice that people do better when they're actually practicing from their television set. If you have the ability to get the internet on your television set, then get our page on there so you can do the exercises that way. The reading will be larger, it'll be better. If your television set does not do that, then using a computer or some larger device, better than a cell phone. All right, next exercise, the glide. Project out a steady ah. Slowly glide up. Here we go. Ah. Ah. This is about control. You are in control. So nice and steady. Ready? Good. Try to get all those little notes in there. We don't want ah. We want you to get those notes in there. Ready? Don't let it trail off at the end. Let's do it again. We're almost done. Good. One more. Very nice. Take a sip of water. You know, one of the reasons, the main reason for practicing on a larger device, we don't want any of your energy going towards trying to make something bigger, trying to see the reading. We don't want you struggling with that at all. We want to make that as easy as possible so that you can expend 100% of your energy on speaking out. That's what we're doing, trying to strengthen the speech and swallowing muscles. So we don't want to spend any of our concentration on trying to see or scroll down or, that part. And that's why I really encourage you to practice on a larger device. We're going to move on to our counting. Lift every number and throw it over your device. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Let's go backward. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now I want you to go down. Ready? 1, 4, 7, 10, 2, 5, 8, 11, 3, 6, 9, 12. Very nice. Take a sip of water. We also had another family member visit us. By the way, when I look to the side, I've got two screens. We had another family member visit us, and it was so cute so this family member, this granddaughter, came to visit and participated in our singing group. When I got back to my desk after everybody had left, there was my business card, but it was flipped over and there was a note on it. Look at this note. It says, "Hi, I'm Sam, Ron's granddaughter. This place is so cool. I never knew I could sing till today. Thanks, Sam." Isn't that cute? I encourage you to bring your family and close friends into these exercises and into your life with Parkinson's. It is so important, and you will be educating them and helping them, and it's just wonderful. I hope that you'll do it. All right, we're moving on to our reading. By the way, after today's session, we have our sing-along. You will log on to the Zoom meeting right after this session. Our topic for our reading is Niagara Falls. Have you been there before? Do you live there? Go ahead and chat and tell us. Read these sentences twice with a lot of intent. Make sure that you are exaggerating the highlighted words. Ready? Niagara Falls is a popular destination. Again, with more intent. Niagara Falls is a popular destination. The more you exaggerate, the more you're exercising your speech and swallowing. Ready? It is the honeymoon capital of the world. Again, it is the honeymoon capital of the world. Next, the falls at Niagara are about 12,000 years old. Say it again with more intent. The falls at Niagara are about 12,000 years old. Next, the Niagara River flows at approximately 35 miles per hour. One more time with more intent. Ready? The Niagara River flows at approximately 35 miles per hour. I hope your voice didn't trail off. Take a sip of water. I'm going to show you a picture. I want you to imagine that I can't see the picture, and I'm going to draw it. I'm going to paint it. I want you to describe this picture to me. This is more challenging than reading. Now, pretend I cannot see this picture, and go ahead, pretend I'm going to paint it, I want you to describe it. Take a sip of water. We're going to do Dr. Daniel R. Boone's nonsense words. These words force the back of the tongue to go up, especially if you say them with intent. Your tongue moves in the same way it moves when you swallow. When you say these, your tongue is moving in the same way it needs to move for swallowing. So exaggerate the G's, the K's, and the NG's. Here we go. Gu, la, gang, ga, ga. Again. Gu, la, gang, ga, ga. And the next one. Ku, ka, man, gu, ka. Again. Ku, ka, man, gu, ka. Ready? Gangla. Again. Gangla. And the last one. Kukla. Kukla. Very nice. Take a sip of water if you need it. We're going to move on to the bonus reading. The bonus reading is more challenging because instead of just being one sentence, we want you to speak out as you read one sentence after another after another. Make sure you're speaking out all the way to the end of every sentence. Don't trail off. Let's read together. On any bright sunny day, you are guaranteed a rainbow when you visit Niagara Falls if you stand in the right spot. When your back is to the sun, rainbows are seen in the mist created by the falling water. Rainbows are seen early in the day from the United States side of the border. As the sun gets higher during the day, rainbows become visible on the Canadian side of the border. Let's read the last part where we say rainbows are seen. Ready? Rainbows are seen early in the day from the United States side of the border. As the sun gets higher during the day, rainbows become visible on the Canadian side of the border. In just a moment, I want you to log on to the Zoom link. Sandy will post it for our sing-along. In fact, every Thursday, I want you to plan on exercising your speech and your voice for a whole hour. But I want to show you a video about Niagara Falls. Sandy will post this. We're not going to watch the whole video. It's only 5 minutes long, but we'll watch about 42 seconds of it. I think you'll enjoy it.
Called by some the eighth wonder of the world, Niagara Falls is a sight that must be seen to be believed. The rushing water, the thundering noise, the mist in the air. Niagara Falls is one of the most majestic sights on Earth. Located on the border of the United States and Canada, it is one of the most popular tourist destinations in the world. Each year, about 13 million people visit the falls, which are made up of 3 separate waterfalls.
Just beautiful. Sandy will post that link if you'd like to watch the rest of that video, and perhaps I will have some photos from Niagara Falls to share with you when I get back from vacation. All right, time to hop on that Zoom call and participate in our Parkinson's sing-along. Even if you think you can't sing, I want you to try it out. Thank you for joining me today. Have a great day. Hello. Thank you for joining Parkinson Voice Project for today's Speak Out Home practice session. My name is Samantha Allendary. I'm a speech-language pathologist and the founder of Parkinson Voice Project. I'm here to help you learn the Speak Out exercises and help you establish and maintain, that's the hard part, maintain a consistent Speak Out home practice routine. I want you doing your exercises every single day. Today we're going to work out of our Out and About workbook, which is in the Speak Out e-library. Everyone, no matter where you live in the world, you have access to the Speak Out e-library if you are working one-on-one with a certified Speak Out provider. It's something that we created at Parkinson Voice Project, and we want you to have access to it. So I'm going to show it to you today. And we're going to talk about a topic in the Out and About workbook. It's the grocery store. So everybody say, grocery store with intent. Ready? Grocery store. And now I want you to call out in your best voice the name of the grocery store you go to most often. Ready? Say it. All right, and we need to practice smiling with intent, so I have a great photo to show you. We need some inspiration to get our best smile. This is Alan and Ree from Rio Vista, California, celebrating Ree's birthday. Let me just zoom in a little bit. Let's see if we can get there. There's Alan and Ree. Beautiful smiles. Happy birthday, Ree. And now let's all smile with intent. Very nice. Take your sip of water. I know it's strange to have to practice smiling, but it's important with Parkinson's that you do that. Our movements don't always look the same way they feel with Parkinson's. So you really have to figure out, when you look at yourself in the mirror and you get a really nice smile, you need to say, okay, this looks really good. What does it feel like? And most likely it feels like you're really exaggerating the smile, like you would feel like it would look funny, but when you look at it, it looks great. So you just have to do that. Let's start with the first Speak Out exercise. It's our warm-up. Lift your voice, and then speak out. Make your voice fly over your computer and hit the wall or your target in front of you. Here we go. May, me, my, mo, moo. Support your voice to the end. Don't let it trail off. Ready? May, me, my, mo, moo. Very nice. Do it again. May, me, my, mo, moo. Notice that I'm connecting the sounds. I'm not doing may, me. No, connect them. Ready? May, me, my, mo, moo. And really exaggerate. Here we go. May, me, my, mo, moo. Keep in mind, these are the muscles you use to articulate with, but also the muscles you use to chew your food, control the saliva in your mouth. Not something we like to talk about, but we need to, so really exaggerate. Take a sip of water and we'll move on to the ahs. I sip on warm water. You don't have to do that. Any water will do. Moving on to the ahs. We're going to lift our voice and make that ah fly forward. Here we go. Ah. That ah needs to hit the target, okay? Ready? Ah. It's not here. It's not ah. It's in front of you. We're speaking out. Ready? Ah. Get your voice in front of you. Let's do another one, but it'll be shorter. Here we go. Ah. Are you deliberately opening your mouth wide? Sometimes it helps to open the mouth first and then ah. Let's do that. Ah. Good. We're done with the ahs. That wasn't too bad. Take a sip of water and do it with intent. Think about what you're doing. We're getting a good workout. Moving on to the next speak out exercise. Number 3, the glides. Project out in front of you a steady ah first, then start gliding up. Here we go. Ah. Ah. Very nice. Let's do it again. Ah. Ah. Notice that when we get to the top of the glide, we stop completely. We close our mouth. We let everything relax. And then we go with the second part. All right? Let's do it again. Ah. Stop. Ah. On the way down, don't drop your head. Don't close your mouth. Be intentional. Let's start high and go down. Ah. Good. Let's do it one more time. Start high. Ah. Very nice. We are done with the glides. We're happy about that. Some of you might be sad. Take a sip of water. Hopefully you're already logged into our chat. I say log in. You don't have to log in. There's no password, but hopefully you've signed in. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much effort are you putting forth into these speak out exercises? On a scale of 1 to 10, how much effort? You can't just go through the motions. It's got to be work. This is your vocal workout. Let's move on to the counting. The counting starts to coordinate the breathing, and we're coordinating the breathing with the vocal folds, and now we're adding words. So we're not just saying ah, we're adding numbers. So we're having to move the tongue and the cheeks and the lips. So let's say these with intent. Lift your voice and make it fly forward. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Notice I'm connecting the numbers just like we did with the may, me, my, moo. We're not doing 1, 2. No, we're connecting the numbers, and that helps to build breath support for speech. Strengthen those muscles. Okay, let's do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Notice I'm stopping at the end of each row. I'm being deliberate. I am in control of my voice, not Parkinson's. I don't have Parkinson's, but we don't want Parkinson's to be in control of your voice. So the more you're deliberate, the more you can think about how you're speaking, the better your conversational speech will be. But if we can't do it with these exercises, we will have a very hard time doing it with regular conversation. So be more deliberate. Let's do the counting one more time. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Very good. While you're getting your water, we're going to go ahead. I'm going to show you the e-library. Again, I want all of you working one-on-one with a certified Speak Out provider. If these home practice sessions are helping you, it is nothing compared to the improvement you will make when you add on working with a certified Speak Out provider. And you can find a provider on our website. Sandy will post that link, but you can also go to ParkinsonVoiceProject.org. When you have your evaluation for Speak Out therapy and the therapist says, yes, you're a good candidate for it, he or she will give you access to the Speak Out e-library, which has so many materials for you to help you. Down at the bottom, you see Out and About. I'm going to click on Out and About. That is a workbook we created several years ago. And let me go full screen, and I can go up here and I can make it bigger. Okay, Out and About. Whoop, too big. All right. It has exercises, reading material and conversation exercises based on places that you go when you're out and about. The first one is the grocery store, and you can see how it has the warm-up in here, has the the glide, the counting exercise, and now we're going to go, oh, let's read this. I like this part of the workbook. Let me make it a little bit bigger. Let's see if I can. There you go. So the e-library is neat. You kind of have to play around with it, but all right. So speaking with intent means to, say this with me, focus, concentrate, be purposeful, be mindful, take control of your speech, put forth conscious effort, say it like you mean it, be deliberate. I like that. So that's in this book. I like that we added that. Now I'm going to go over here. I think these will be big enough for you, but I can make it bigger. We're going to read these phrases. Say them with intent. Ready? We'll just read each one once. Ready? I'm going to the store. I lied. We're going to say it more than once. I want you to think about speaking out and projecting every word in front of you like this. I'm going to the store. And that store should hit the target in front of you. Ready? I'm going to the store. Next. Park the car. Speak out. Next. Grab a cart. Next. I forgot my list. You need to be very deliberate when you read. Ready? Weigh the bananas. The next. Buy some milk. Next, look for farm fresh eggs. Say that one again. Look for farm fresh eggs. Next, I would like a free sample. Again, I would like a free sample. Next, is this on sale? Again, is this on sale? And the next, the peaches are ripe. Now I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to say yes or no. Just yes or no in your best voice. This first sentence, I'm going to the store. Do you ever say that? Do you ever say, park the car? Just answer yes or no in your very best voice. Do you ever say, grab a cart? Do you ever say, I forgot my list? Do you ever say, weigh the bananas? Are you using your best voice? Say yes or no. How about this one? Buy some milk. Do you ever say that? All right, we're going to move on. So I want you to know in the Out and About workbook, there is one page of reading that has short phrases. And then to challenge you, or for those of you that are on level 2 or level 3 in the booklet, there are longer sentences. And you can download your reading material, and we're providing all of this to you today. All right, for the conversation, we're going to go ahead and do this first one. In your best voice, I want you to name items on a typical grocery list. Say them with intent. Speak out. Go ahead. Now I want you to name some vegetables in your best voice. Go ahead. How about we'll skip ahead. Items sold in a bakery. Say them with intent. Do you see how doing some of these exercises would help you transition your wonderful voice, your intentional voice, to real life conversation? Improving speech and swallowing in Parkinson's is a hierarchy. You need to be able to do the exercises perfectly and need to be able to do the reading and the conversation exercises. So make sure you're spending some time working out of your Speak Out booklet and using the e-library. You know what? We have just 1 minute, and I know y'all love Dr. Boone's words. Let's go ahead and do those before we end. Ready? Gula ga ga ga. Again. Gula ga ga ga. Really use a lot of intent. Ready? Ku ka mangu ka. Hit your target. Ku ka mangu ka. Wonderful. Ready? Gangla. Again. Gangla. And the next one, last one. Kukla. Kukla. Very nice. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you had a great workout. We need your help. We need you to follow us on social media. If you're on Facebook, Instagram, have you subscribed to our YouTube channel? Are you in LinkedIn? There are so many people with Parkinson's around the world who need help. So help us get the word out. Let people know about these sessions. And again, you can download today's reading material. Take what you learned in this session and practice, practice, practice. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Hello. Thank you for joining Parkinson Voice Project for today's Speak Out Home practice session. My name is Samantha Allendary. I'm a speech-language pathologist and the founder of Parkinson Voice Project. I'm here to help you learn the Speak Out exercises and help you establish and maintain, that's the hard part, maintain a consistent Speak Out home practice routine. Hopefully you are already working one-on-one with a certified Speak Out provider. If you're not, please find one. Go to ParkinsonVoiceProject.org. Look for Find a Provider and find someone in your area to work with. If you've noticed improvement with these home practice sessions, it's nothing compared to the improvement you will make when you combine it with one-on-one Speak Out therapy. Today's topic, we are going to be talking about the piano. Do you play the piano? Do you enjoy piano music? That's our topic for today. Before we start, go ahead and give me your best smile. Let's all smile with intent. Very good. Take your sip of water and we will get started. Please send your smile photos of you and your family to intent@ParkinsonVoiceProject.org. We are going to start with the first Speak Out exercise, the may, me, my, mo, moo. It's called our warm-up. I want you to lift your voice, lift, and then project it forward. Speak out. Ready? May, me, my, mo, moo. Now sometimes people say, I don't understand what you mean by lift. So we're not yelling and we're not throwing it out this way. We're not doing may, me, my. We're lifting. It's may. Ready? May, me, my, mo, moo. And really exaggerate. Do it again. May, me, my, mo, moo. We're going to do it again. Connect the syllables. That's important. Ready? May, me, my, mo, moo. Parkinson's wants to bring your voice, bring it back here, make it softer and raspy. We don't want that. You need to speak out. Project your voice forward. Let's do our last warm-up. May, me, my, mo, moo. Good. Take your sip of water, and I want you to think about when you're talking to your family and friends that you are lifting and projecting the whole time. So when you do these exercises, you're practicing what you're going to do in everyday life. So if I say, how are you? Do you notice how I lifted it? How are you? I lifted it and put it in front of me. Say that with me. How are you? Or how are you? All right, I'm lifting and I'm supporting it till the end. Say it with me again. How are you? Again. How are you? So what you're practicing during the exercises is what you're going to do in everyday speech. The only difference is when you're doing your exercises, you're using a lot more intent. It's your vocal workout, so it requires high intensity, high energy. Let's move on to the next Speak Out exercise, the ahs. Deliberately, purposefully, open your mouth wide. We want to make sure the sound is ah, okay? If you don't open your mouth wide enough, you'll get a different sound. And then lift it and speak out. Here we go. Ah. Good. We're trying to keep it consistent the whole time. Ready? Ah. Let's do it again. If the sound is not clear, then something's not right. Try to project your voice out a little bit more and see if it'll clear up. Let's do a shorter one. Good. One more. We're done with the ahs. Take a sip of water and do it with intent, which means be purposeful. With Parkinson's, you have to be intentional, purposeful, deliberate. When you do that, you are activating a part of the brain that is not as dependent on Parkinson's. So you can do most anything, but it's not going to be automatic anymore. You're going to have to make it happen. You'll have to use intent. Let's move on to the third speak out exercise, the glide. Project out, up and over, an ah, and then glide up. Here we go. Ah. Stop. Good. It should be strong and clear the whole time. Let's do it again. As you're gliding down, make the sound grow. It should get bigger at the end. Start high and go down. Think of a roller coaster going down or a slide. Start high again. Good. And one more glide. We're almost done. One more from the beginning. Very nice. We're done with the glides. Aren't you happy? Some people love them. Some people not so much. Take a sip of water. We're moving on to the next exercise. For the ahs and the glides, we were working on the breathing muscles and the vocal folds. Our mouth was just open and stayed open. But now we're moving up to the next level. We're going to move on to the counting. So now it's the breathing coordinated with the vocal folds, coordinated with our articulators. And we start with numbers because they're easier. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, we are being very deliberate. We are in control of our voices, not Parkinson's. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We're lifting and speaking out. We are connecting the numbers. Let's start at 12 and go backward. 10, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very nice. Take a sip of water. We'll move on to the reading. A reminder that right after this session, we have the Parkinson sing-along. And even if you can't participate live, but I hope you will, but if it's the middle of the night right now where you live, you can use the recording. We post a recording every week. So make sure that you participate. It's a Zoom link, so Sandy will post that. But you can find just about everything that you need on the home page of ParkinsonVoiceProject.org. So we are going to read these sentences, and all of the highlighted words, we're going to emphasize them. We're not necessarily doing them louder, but we're really thinking about how we're talking. Let's read the first one. The piano was invented in Italy in 1709. Did you notice how when I said 9, I didn't let it trail off? Just say the year. 1709. Do it again with me. We're lifting and speaking out. Ready? 1709. Now read the whole sentence. The piano was invented in 1709. Now, do you notice how we are practicing? We are practicing. We're learning how to speak with intent the same way that you would learn to play a piano piece. When you have difficulty with a part, you do it over and over and over, and then you go back and you try to make it all the way again. That's what we're doing. Ready? A standard full-size piano has 88 keys. Let's do it again. A standard full-size piano has 88 keys. All right, next. A typical piano has about 12,000 parts. Again. A typical piano has about 12,000 parts. Might make us appreciate our piano tuners a little bit more. Read this first part of the sentence. Some famous piano pieces are you lifting and speaking out? Ready? Read it again. Some famous piano pieces are, let's read these two together. Rhapsody in Blue by George Gershwin. Moonlight Sonata by Beethoven. Let's read them again. Rhapsody in Blue by George Gershwin. Moonlight Sonata by Beethoven. Do you have a famous piano piece or classical piece? What is it? Say it with intent. You can also chat it with intent. That's part of our conversation exercise, but right now, name 3 places where you would see a piano. Let's read these together. Symphony, school, university music department, Parkinson Voice Project. Yes, we had a Speak Out graduate who played in the symphony, and he donated a grand piano to Parkinson Voice Project. We are so grateful for it. Now, a tough question. Explain how learning to play the piano is like learning to speak with intent. Learning to play the piano is a motor movement, coordinating the motor movements. The speech disorder related to Parkinson's is a motor speech disorder. And the way that we correct it, the way that we improve it, is we use what's called principles of motor learning. And it's the same way that you would learn to play the piano. Again, you play the piano, maybe you're learning a piece and you try to do it with a lot of intent, slowly, really thinking about it. That's the same way that you do your exercises. If you have a tough part on the piano, you do it over and over and over and over. You do it slowly. You try to do it more quickly. Same way when you're working on your reading material. You also try to practice in different ways. When I played the piano, I might have a certain rhythm, like I would do the scales, da, 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 and then I would do da, 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 da. That's a motor, that's principles of motor learning. And you can do that. When we emphasize the highlighted word, we're changing it up again. You could also spell the last word of every sentence or do it in a different rhythm. So they're similar. All right, let's go ahead and do Dr. Boone's words. Ready? Gula ganga ga. Ready? Gula ganga ga. And the next one. Whoops. Ready? Ku ka mangu ka. Ku ka mangu ka. Next. Gangla. Again. Gangla. And the last one. Kukla. Kukla. The next part, we do have a bonus reading, but I really wanted to show you a different website. It has nothing to do with Parkinson Voice. Let me pull it up. I found it, and I use it a lot with my Speak Out patients who are working on level 3. So people that need to be challenged a little bit more. Well, this is a website I found on UVA's website, the Miller Center. And what I love about it, so if we click, you've got all the presidents, okay? And so you can go through it. You can learn a lot too. Of course, we could say the dates 1732 to 1799. Say that with me. 1732 to 1799. Do you notice that they have a short paragraph here, but it is very challenging. It would be a great way to practice if you're in level 3 in the workbook where you're really working on more challenging material. And then there's another overview here. That's a great reading. And then different essays and fun facts. So you can maybe work with somebody else, ask a question, and then they say the answer, or they ask you a question, you say the answer. Sandy will post this link. It has all of the presidents there, and I just think it's great. So, if you've been in the Speak Out therapy program a long time, maybe you get a little bit bored with this Speak Out workbook, but this is another way that you can practice. You can also download today's reading material. Take what you learned in this session and practice, 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 and practice some more. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me. Remember, follow us on social media. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn. We need your help to spread the word and let other people with Parkinson's know about Parkinson Voice Project and these sessions. So thank you for helping us with that. Have a great day. Hello, thank you for joining Parkinson Voice Project for today's online Speak Out Home Practice session. My name is Samantha Allendary. I'm a speech language pathologist and the founder of Parkinson Voice Project. I'm so happy that you are going to be practicing with me, and I also have some really good news to share with all of you. Our sing-along videos will be posted again on our website. We had to take them down for a little bit to figure out a couple things. They will not be on YouTube or Facebook, but if you go to our sing-along page on our website, okay, after tomorrow's sing-along, we will post the recording at the end of the day, and every week, we will keep one recording up there. So every Thursday we'll record the sing-along. Then in the afternoon, by the afternoon, we'll post it on our website, and it will be there for you to use as much as you want until the next Thursday when we conduct another sing-along, and then we'll post that recording. So they will be posted again on our website. I appreciate your patience as we figured some things out. Today's topic, dogs. Everybody say dogs with intent. Ready? Dogs. Really speak out when you say it. Get the words in front of you. Ready? Dogs. And let's practice smiling with intent. Ready? And now we need a sip of water. If you have not gotten into the chat yet, please go ahead and do that. I encourage you to come onto these sessions a couple minutes early so that you can get into the chat where it says type in your nickname, type in your first name and where you're from. No login, no password. You don't need to worry about any of that. The chat disappears at the end of the day. We have the chat there solely for you to connect with other people and to have fun while you're doing these exercises with all the cute images and photos that we post. So even if you're not going to chat during the session, just get into it with your first name only and where you're from, and just enjoy it while you do the exercises. Our first speak out exercise, the may, me, my, mo, moo. Lift your voice and make the syllables fly over your computer or your TV. May, me, my, mo, moo. Again. May, me, my, mo, moo. I want you to learn how to lift your voice. Parkinson's wants to bring it back here. We're going to lift it and project it forward. Ready? May, me, my, mo, moo. Connect the syllables as best you can. Ready? May, me, my, mo, moo. And one more. May, me, my, mo, moo. Go ahead and take your sip of water. Now, if you have been practicing with us a while, especially if you have been in the chat, you know that we have a famous dog that exercises with us every day. His name is Charlie, and we have a video of Charlie and Alan doing the warm-up. Ready?
May, me, my, mo, moo.
That's so cute, isn't it? Do you have a dog? You can tell us about your dog. You can post a photo. Don't go, I want you to do your exercises. So you can post the photo tomorrow, the rest of the week, or even next week. But that's one neat feature of the chat where you can post a photo. But you can tell us what kind of dog you have. All right, speak out exercise number 2, the Oz. Deliberately open your mouth wide and speak out. Ready? We hold it for a maximum of 10 seconds. It can be shorter, just not longer than 10 seconds. Ready? Good. Again. We'll do a shorter one. Deliberately open your mouth wide. One more. We're done with the Oz. Let's grab our cup or our glass, take a sip of water with intent. Speak out exercise number 3, the glides. Project out a steady off first and then glide up. Ready? You cannot be shy when you do these. Just let it out. You'll get a better sound. Ready? Good. We are projecting our voices, but we're not yelling, so it's not it's not like that. Okay, let it glide out or flow out. Good. Let's do another one. One more. Very nice. Let's take our sip of water. We're going to move on to the counting. So for the Oz and the glides, we had our mouth open. We were not articulating any words. So now we move up a level. We're going to coordinate the breathing with the vocal folds and add some words. We start with counting because it's easier. Here we go with intent. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Good. I want you to lift every number and project it over your computer or your television set. Let's do it again. 4 numbers and then stop. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. Exaggerate. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much effort are you putting forth? I don't want you to just go through the motions. You should be at an 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You can put the number in the chat. You want it to be taking effort. We're being deliberate. Let's do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Very nice. Let's take a sip of water, and I had 2 questions come in. So a week ago, before I went on vacation, we talked about some compensatory strategies for swallowing, and there was a question that came in, and it said, I was a bit surprised that the following tip wasn't included since it helps me very much. When you are ready to swallow, tuck your head forward, or say something like tuck your chin. So I'm very happy that it is helping you, the person that sent in this question. The tips that I provided to you are good for anybody, okay? It's good for anybody to try to take the pills with applesauce, to not eat in front of the television set and things like that. Tucking the chin, I will say, doesn't help everyone. And the way I know this, when I used to work at the hospital and I would conduct the modified barium swallow studies, if you're having a swallowing problem, a very serious swallowing problem that doesn't improve when you go through speak out therapy, sometimes people need additional swallowing therapy. Not always. A lot of times they don't, but sometimes they do. If you're having a swallowing problem that is not improved when you do speak out therapy, then you should have a modified barium swallow study, okay? And that is an x-ray, like a movie x-ray of your swallowing. When I've done that test with patients, I've actually seen somebody aspirate meaning the food went down the wrong way when they tucked their chin. For a lot of people, it does help them, but not necessarily everybody. So before I would tell anybody to purposefully tuck their chin when they swallow, I would want to see that it helped them on the video. The same thing is true with thickening liquids. This is my professional opinion. I do not like to thicken people's liquids without seeing on the screen that it helps. Also, people don't usually like the thickened liquid, so I don't just want to do that if it doesn't help either. So sometimes it's not that the liquids need to be thickened. Sometimes if somebody takes a small sip of thin liquid, it goes down okay. But if they're trying to drink a lot of it at a time, then maybe that's when they have trouble. And that modified barium swallow study can help you figure out what you need to do. I hope that explains it. Okay, I'll have to save the next question for later. We're moving on to dogs, our reading material. The topic is dogs. Does anybody have a dog like this? So cute. Let's read these sentences twice with intent. Exaggerate the highlighted words. The reason that I do this, I'm trying to make your speech go from automatic to intentional. When I purposefully have you say some words in a different way, in this case, you're going to exaggerate the highlighted words. You are activating the intentional motor system. You're being more deliberate. Here we go. In the U.S., August is National Dog Month. Read it again with intent. In the U.S., August is National Dog Month. Next, some groups of dogs are herding and hounds. Read it again with more intent. Some groups of dogs are herding and hounds. Really lift your voice while you're reading. Ready? There are also sporting and toy breeds. Again, more intent. There are also sporting and toy breeds. And here's a quote. Ready? Dogs leave paw prints on our hearts. Again. Dogs leave paw prints on our hearts. Notice how when I said hearts, I'm lifting. You want to get used to talking in conversation where you're lifting every voice. I know every word. It sounds strange, but you'll say, how are you? Everybody say that. How are you? Or I love you. Ready? I love you. And it's all forward. Say it again. I love you. How about it's time to go? Ready? It's time to go. You're lifting. Again, it's time to go. When you do that, you're speaking out. Take a sip of water. Now we move on to our conversation exercise where the words aren't necessarily in front of you. You have to think of them and then speak out. Name different breeds of dogs. Let's read these together. German Shepherd, Beagle, Poodle, Great Dane, Bulldog, Boxer, Golden Retriever, Yorkie. Let's read them again, and I want you to lift and project the voice forward. Ready? German Shepherd, Beagle, Poodle, Great Dane, Bulldog, Boxer, Golden Retriever, Yorkie, and don't let it trail off. Next question. Oh, I like this one. Name famous dogs from movies, books, cartoons, or shows. How many can you think of? And lift your voice when you name each one. Let's read with intent. Benji, Lassie, Toto, Rin Tin Tin, Old Yeller, Scooby-Doo, Snoopy. With intent, tell me what movie Toto is from. The Wizard of Oz. That is right. Let's go ahead and do Dr. Boone's words. Really exaggerate the G's, the K's, and the NG's. Those force the back of the tongue to go up and hit the roof of the mouth. And that's the same movement your tongue makes when you swallow. Ready? Gula ga ga ga. Again. Gula ga ga ga. And the next one. Ku ka mangu ka. Again. Ku ka mangu ka. Ready? Gangla. Gangla. And the last one. Kukla. Kukla. You're getting the words in front of you. Take a sip of water. We'll move on to the bonus reading. I want to mention, if you have clinical questions, send them to intent@parkinsonvoiceproject.org. I can't always get to all of the questions right away, so when I do answer your question online, Lisa will email you and let you know which session I talked about the particular topic, okay? All right. We're moving on to the bonus reading. Read it and exaggerate the highlighted words. Here we go. If you own a dog, you take them out for walks. You play with them. You keep them entertained. This means you're active throughout your day, which naturally boosts your physical health. This is a great reading material to download. And then you can take what you're learning in this session and practice. Let's read this again with more intent. If you own a dog, you take them out for walks. You play with them. You keep them entertained. This means you're active throughout your day, which naturally boosts your physical health. That's a great paragraph to read over and over, and every time trying to use more intent, have more control, so you can download the reading material from our website. We keep 5 days worth of reading material up there at a time. Thank you so much for joining me. Tomorrow is Sing Along. Plan on being with us for an hour. Practice with me. Then you'll hop on the Zoom link. And in the afternoon, you will have the Sing Along recording to use all week long. Thank you, everyone. Hello. Thank you for joining Parkinson Voice Project for today's Speak Out Home Practice Session. My name is Samantha Allendary. I'm the founder of Parkinson Voice Project. We are a nonprofit organization solely dedicated to helping you and everyone around the world living with Parkinson's. We're here to help you regain and retain your speech and your swallowing. We developed the Speak Out Therapy program. I'm going to take you through the exercises so you can learn how to do them accurately. And I also want to help you establish and maintain a consistent speak out home practice routine, which means I want you doing your speak out exercises every day. Today's topic, we are going to talk about first cars. Now, before you run and go get a photo of you in your first car, I invite you to post photos all week long of you in your first car. So do your practice right now, and then later you can go find that picture. Let's all say first cars with intent. Ready? First cars. Be very deliberate. Say it again. First cars. And we have to practice smiling. Now, today's smiling inspiration is brought to us by Nancy in Michigan. This is her grandson Caleb and his new dog Lark. I understand that this was a birthday gift. Happy birthday, Caleb. And yes, he is smiling with intent. Perhaps we should have a session about first pets. Lisa, put that on the list. I would love to see photos of your first pets. But right now, let's all smile with intent. Very good. As you take your sip of water, I'm going to remind you that in the mornings, after you brush your teeth, I want you to look in the mirror and I want you to smile with intent. Remember that when we smile, sometimes the smile feels differently than it really is. So look in the mirror. Are you happy with your smile? If not, smile with a little bit more intent and get it to where you say, wow, that looks really good. And then think about what it feels like. You might feel like you're a clown, like you're exaggerating so much. But when you look in the mirror, it looks normal. Okay, that's what we want. We're going to start with the first speak out exercise. Here we go. May, me, my, mo, moo. I want you to look for a target across your room. What is it? A picture, the refrigerator, the barbecue pit, the pond outside your window. Make your voice fly forward. Ready? May, me, my, mo, moo. Up and over your computer or your iPad or your television if you're joining us from YouTube. Ready? May, me, my, mo, moo. Make sure to connect the sounds. Here we go. May, me, my, mo, moo. The more you exaggerate, the better you will exercise the muscles you're using for speaking and swallowing. So I know it feels funny. Do it anyway. Let's do one more. May, me, my, mo, moo. We're done with the warm-up. Take your sip of water. The next speak out exercise, the ahs. Deliberately open your mouth wide and lift. Project that ah up and forward. Hit the target. Ready? Ah. Good. We are not yelling. We are projecting our voices forward, so make sure you're not screaming, you're not yelling. That ah is floating, I should say, floating over your computer, and it's going to hit the target in front of you. Let's do it again. Ah. Good. Keep the sound consistent and it should be clear. Ready? If the sound is not clear, you need to project out a little bit more. Try it again. It should never hurt to do these exercises, and if you can't get it clear, call your certified speak out provider, your speech language pathologist, and work with her or him on it. One more short ah. Ah. Very nice. We're done with the ahs. Take your sip of water. Of course, do it with intent. I definitely use intent when I'm sipping on my warm water. I don't know if y'all have noticed, but when I take my sip of water, there's a little bit of a pause before I bring the cup down. That is because I am making sure my lips are wrapped around this cup so that I do not spill this on me. Watch. I can't believe I'm telling you my secret, but maybe you need to do this too. That's how you take your sips of water with intent. Let's move on to the third speak out exercise, the glide. Project out a steady ah. Slowly glide up. Ready? Ah. Ah. Even though you're gliding up and down, you're still speaking out. The sound is going up and over your computer. Let's do another one. Ah. Ah. We have to be very deliberate when we do this. Again. Do you notice that I have a steady ah first? I don't do ah. Okay, it's not like that. We have to be in control. We have to use intent. So it's steady ah. We get control. And then we start gliding. Ready? Ah. Steady on. Okay, one more. Wonderful. We are done with the glides. We're going to move on to the counting, but take your sip of water with intent. I will do the same. That time I did not pause. I took a chance, a risk. I should not do that. But swallowing is so automatic, right? It's hard to make it intentional, but we must do that. We're moving on to the counting. I want you to lift every number, project it up, and make it fly over your computer. It's going to hit the target. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Notice that I'm exaggerating. I want you to do the same thing. When you get to the third number, it should hit your target. Okay, so it's flying. You're supporting it all the way until it gets to the target. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Good. Let's count backward. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh my goodness, I am working with intent. Are you? On a scale of 1 to 10, how much effort are you putting forth in these exercises? Make sure you're not doing them in a voice where you would just talk to your neighbor and say, hi, how are you? It needs to be with intent. Take a sip of water. Today we are talking about first cars, and I can't wait to see the photos that you will post in the chat later this week. Do your exercises right now, but I would love to see your photos. And by the way, I cannot see the chat messages while I am conducting the sessions, but I always go in afterward and look at your responses. So I'm going to enjoy reading your responses to today's topics. But let's start with our reading material. I want you to read every word with intent. Every word is being projected over your computer, and we're going to emphasize the highlighted words. So we're forcing ourselves to use a little bit more intent on those highlighted words, which means we are in control of our voices, not Parkinson's. Here we go with the first sentence. What was your first car? Don't answer it yet. We're just reading. Again, with more intent. What was your first car? Ready? First cars are often hand-me-downs. Again, first cars are often hand-me-downs. Next, parents want safe cars. Again, parents want safe cars. But what do teens want? Read it with me. Teens want cool, fast cars. Read it again. Speak out more. Teens want cool, fast cars. That's right. Now answer these questions. Describe your first car. Say every single word with intent. Project your voice forward when you give the answer. I've told you before that I am not the most exciting person. I really am a very serious person. So, my first car was a red Honda Civic. And my grandmother gave me $1,000 to help me buy the car. My father gave me $1,000, and then I paid for the rest. And I remember my car payment was $164 a month. Next question. What are some features in today's cars that were not available in your first car? Think of some features. Let's read these together. Ready? GPS, airbags, seat warmers. That's right. GPS would have been so handy back when I had my first car. Let's read these again. GPS, airbags, seat warmers. Very good. Take a sip of water and we will move on to Dr. Boone's words. I used intent that time. I want you to exaggerate the G's, the K's, and the NG's. With these exercises, we are trying to help you preserve your speech and swallowing for the rest of your life. This is how you can battle Parkinson's, but you've got to use a lot of intent, not yelling, not screaming, but being very deliberate and intentional. Here we go. Gula gan ga ga. Again. Gula gan ga ga. Next. Kuka mangu ka. Speak out. Kuka mangu ka. The next one. Gangla. Again, gangla. And the last one. Kukla. Kukla. Very nice. We are going to move on to the bonus reading. Here's the bell. We're going to read together. Before we start reading, first, I want to read through only the highlighted words. So we're going to read only the highlighted words. Throw them over your computer. Ready? Ford, Mustang, 1964, 1973, Mustang, pony cars. That's a good way. You can download the reading material and really exaggerate the highlighted words first. And then now let's read the whole paragraph. Ready? The first generation Ford Mustang was manufactured by Ford from March 1964 until 1973. The introduction of the Mustang created a new class of automobiles known as pony cars. And it would be good for you to download the reading material and practice reading that 2 more times, each time trying to get better and better at it. Hey, look at this. Beautiful, right? Thank you so much for joining me for today's Speak Out Home Practice session. I hope as you are learning to speak and swallow with intent, that you will start applying intent to everything you're doing throughout the day. Walking, riding, putting on your seatbelt, getting out of a chair. I know that you can do it. Have a great day. Hello. Thank you for joining Parkinson Voice Project for today's Speak Out Home practice session. My name is Samantha Ellendery. I'm a speech-language pathologist and the founder of Parkinson Voice Project. We are a nonprofit organization solely dedicated to helping you and everyone with Parkinson's around the world regain and retain your speech and your swallowing. Did you know that even though 90% of people with Parkinson's struggle with speech and swallowing, it is estimated that only 3 to 4% of people are receiving speech therapy. That is a shocking statistic. So I am asking for your help to spread the word about these Speak Out Home practice sessions to everyone you know and everybody who knows somebody with Parkinson's so they can start practicing with us. Today's topic, blood moons. Interesting topic. Everyone say that with intent. Blood moons. Really speak out. Get the words in front of you. Ready? Blood moons. Now we like to practice smiling with intent before we start the exercises, but we need a little inspiration. So today's smile photo is brought to us by Robin. She lives in Australia, and this was a picture of her on her son's wedding day. You look beautiful, Robin, and thank you so much for sending in a picture of you smiling with intent. So now let's all smile with intent. Give me your very best smile. Very nice. Time to take a sip of water. Make sure you have water when you're doing these exercises. I am sipping on warm water. You don't need to do that. Any water will do. Take a sip of water with intent. We're going to start with the first speak out exercise. I want you to lift your voice. Lift it and project it forward. Make your voice fly up and over your computer or your iPad. Find a target across the room. Is it a picture, the refrigerator, the television set, a pond outside the window, a tree outside the window? Support your voice. Make it fly all the way to the target and hit it. Here we go. May, me, my, mo, moo. Support your voice to the end. Ready? May, me, my, mo, moo. Connect the sounds. Here we go. May, me, my, mo, moo. Good. Lift your voice. Don't just throw it out this way. Lift. Ready? May, me, my, mo, moo. One more. May, me, my, mo, moo. We're done with the warm-up. Take a sip of water. Think about it as you grab your cup or your glass. Use intent. Be deliberate. We are activating a motor system that is not as dependent on dopamine, and that's why it works. We call it the intentional motor system. Moving on to speak out exercise number 2, the ahs. Deliberately, purposefully, open your mouth wide and then project that ah up and over your computer and hit the target. Here we go. Ah. Good. Keep that sound consistent. Ready? With movements are smaller, sometimes without you realizing it. Just like when you smile. Have you ever taken a picture, like a selfie, and you thought you did a good job smiling, and then you look at it and you go, whoa, I look like I'm angry. Because the movements with Parkinson's do not feel the same way they really are. So make sure you are opening your mouth wide. Go ahead, open your mouth real wide. And now, ah. That's a little trick. If you're using a mirror and you're not opening your mouth wide enough, open it first, then ah. Ready? Ah. Good. Yeah, that's a little trick. Open the mouth first, then ah. Let's do one more. We'll do a shorter one. Ah. We're done with the ahs. Take a sip of water and do it with intent. All right, next exercise, the glide. I want you to project out a steady ah first. This is important. Steady ah. You are taking back control over your voice. You've got that ah, and then you start gliding. Here we go. Ah. Ah. There's a tendency on the way down to drop your head, close your mouth, and make the sound go back here. We do not want to do that. You are speaking out the whole time. Let's try it again. Good. This requires a lot of intent. Let's do it again. Very good. We've got this. Let's do it again. Good. That's enough. That's enough glides. Take a sip of water. And I'm wondering, what did you do this weekend with intent? I want you to say it with intent, or hopefully you have already signed into our chat, and I want you to chat it with intent. Tell me what you did with intent this weekend. So yesterday, I went with my daughter and her family to a festival at her church, and I wanted to share a photo with you. I thought this was really cute. So, but I'm going to ask you a question. Here's a question. What do you think? Name one activity that would happen at a Catholic church's festival. Think of one activity that you would see at a festival hosted by a Catholic church. Look at this photo. Of course, you would take a photo with Pope Leo. I thought that was so cute that they had that pop-up of Pope Leo. I did not expect that, but I thought it was awfully cute. And that is my daughter, Hannah. All right, moving on to the counting exercise. You've got your target across the room from you or out your window. We're going to lift for every number and project our voices forward. We're speaking out. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. If you tend to rush your speech, I do not want you to think about slowing down. It will not work. I want you to think about speaking out. If you need to emphasize, stretch out the vowels, sometimes that will help. Keep the focus on speaking out. Ready? Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You are in control of your voice, not Parkinson's. Let's do this one more time. We will go backward. Here we go. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very good. Before we move on to the reading, go ahead and take a sip of water. All right, before we move on to the reading, oops, sorry about that. Have you heard of this book, The Parkinson's Plan by Dr. Ray Dorsey and Dr. Michael Oken? On October 9th at 3 o'clock p.m. Central Time, Parkinson Voice Project is hosting a webinar with Dr. Ray Dorsey, and he will talk about his new book, The Parkinson's Plan. Dr. Dorsey and Dr. Oken believe that we can live in a world where Parkinson's is rare. He talks about the environmental factors that are contributing to Parkinson's and environmental factors that we can control. The pesticides we're exposed to and other chemicals. So I don't want you to miss it. Sandy is going to post the link. We will host, Parkinson Voice Project will host this webinar October 9th at 3 o'clock p.m. U.S. Central Time, but you do need to register. It'll be done through Zoom. All right, we're going to move on to our topic now. Very interesting topic. Blood moons. Do you know what I'm talking about when I say blood moons? Let's read these sentences with intent. Ready? A blood moon has a reddish-orange color. Again, a blood moon has a reddish-orange color. Make sure you're really speaking out. There was a blood moon on September 7th. Again, there was a blood moon on September 7th. Did you see it? Did you get a picture of it? Read this for me, the whole thing. Prime visibility was limited to Africa, India, China, Australia. Really emphasize the highlighted words. Let's read it again. Prime visibility was limited to Africa, India, China, Australia. All right, let's move on. Read this. It was not observable from the Americas. Again, with more intent. It was not observable from the Americas. We're going to move on to our conversation exercise. Name 3 lunar phases. Say them with intent. Read them. So don't say the numbers, just read them. Ready? Full, quarter, crescent. Again, full, quarter, crescent. Another question. Name 3 things you associate with the moon. Say them in your best voice. Really speak out. This is what Lisa came up with. Don't say the numbers. Sleep, bedtime, fall, astronomy. All right, take a sip of water with intent. Now we're moving on to Dr. Boone's nonsense words. Really exaggerate the G's, the K's, and the NG's. Those sounds, when you produce those sounds, you lift the back of the tongue. That is very important with Parkinson's. The tongue tends to move in a small way, and so if the tongue doesn't go up high enough, it'll be hard to kick in the swallow. So exaggerate the g's, the k's, and the ings. Ready? Gu, la, gang, ga, ga. Again. Gu, la, gang, ga, ga. We are lifting and projecting our voice. Ready? Ku, ka, mang, gu, ka. Hit the target. Ku, ka, mang, gu, ka. Next one. Gangla. Again. Gangla. And the last one. Kukla. Kukla. Very nice. We're going to move on to the bonus reading. Here is the bell. The bonus reading is more challenging because it's not just one phrase or just one sentence. It's one sentence after another, after another, after another. Can you speak out the whole time? Here we go with intent. A blood moon is the dramatic red glow of the moon during a total lunar eclipse. It happens when Earth's shadow completely covers the full moon, filtering sunlight through our atmosphere and turning the lunar surface. Let's go back. So we're going to start with it happens and really emphasize the highlighted words. Here we go. It happens when Earth's shadow completely covers the full moon, filtering sunlight through our atmosphere and turning the lunar surface deep red or coppery brown. You can download today's reading material. In fact, we post the reading material for the past 5 days. You can download the reading material, take what you learned in this session, and practice, practice, practice. Thank you so much for joining me today and for working so hard. I hope as you're learning to speak and swallow with intent, that you are learning how to do everything with intent. Have a great day. Hello, thank you for joining Parkinson Voice Project for today's Speak Out Home practice session. My name is Samantha Allendary. I'm a speech-language pathologist and the founder of Parkinson Voice Project. We are a nonprofit organization solely dedicated to helping you and everyone with Parkinson's around the world regain and retain your speech and your swallowing. Did you know that 90% of people with Parkinson's struggle with speech and swallowing, and yet only 3 to 4% of people with Parkinson's are receiving speech therapy? We want to change that, so I'm so happy that you joined me today for this session to exercise your speech and swallowing muscles and learn how to speak with intent. Today's topic, we're going to be talking about Queensland. And we have a wonderful poem that was sent to us by June from Australia that we're going to read. So it's a long poem, so we're going to go through the other exercises pretty quickly. So to have some inspiration to smile, before we practice smiling, we must smile. We need some inspiration. So here is a photo sent to us by Irene from Pennsylvania. This is her husband and her grandson making a pizza. I love this, and I love your smiles, and I love getting to know a little bit more about everyone who's practicing with us. All right, we're ready to smile with intent. Let me hold this like this. All right, give me your best smile. Wonderful. I know it seems strange that you have to practice smiling, but you do need to with Parkinson's. All right. Everybody say Queensland with intent. Ready? Queensland. One more time. Speak out. Queensland. And that is our topic for today. Take a sip of water and we'll get started. The first speak out exercise, the may, me, my, mo, moo. Lift your voice and project it up. Make it fly over your computer or your iPad, and it should hit your target. Find a target across the room. You want your voice to travel all the way across and go splat on the target. Ready? May, me, my, mo, moo. Did it go splat? Let's do it again. May, me, my, mo, moo. Good. Again. May, me, my, mo, moo. Very nice. We're going to do it again. Connect the sounds. Ready? May, me, my, mo, moo. You're supporting your voice all the way to the end. And when you talk in conversation, I want you to think about that. You're going to support your voice all the way to the end of every sentence you say. All right? We're not going to trail off anymore. So the way we work on it is with the exercises. One more warm-up. May, me, my, mo, moo. We're done with the warm-up. Take a sip of water and do it with intent, which means think about it. All right, now we're moving on to the ahs. Deliberately open your mouth wide and project that ah forward. Let it hit your target. Support it to the end. Ready? Ah. Make sure you're opening your mouth wide. Just like the smile doesn't feel the same way to you as it really is. Sometimes you feel like you're giving a nice smile and you look at the picture and go, whoa, I look mad. Okay? There's a disconnect there. Make sure you're opening your mouth wide. Ready? Support your voice all the way to the end. Let's do it again. Let's do a shorter ah. I know these aren't easy. You want a clear voice. The voice should sound clear. Ready? Ah. Almost done. One more ah. Ah. Very nice. Take a sip of water and do it with intent. Think about it. We're learning to be deliberate and purposeful. All right, next, let me give you a second. Next, speak out exercise, the glides. Project out with intent, a steady ah, and then slowly start gliding. Here we go. Ah. Ah. Good. Let's do it again. Ah. Ah. This exercise, besides strengthening your voice, it is about control. It is about intent. Steady ah, then glide. Ready? Ah. Stop. Ah. Good. Let's do it again. Ah. Ah. That's enough glides. Take a sip of water with intent. All right, we're going to move on to the counting. Again, we're supporting our voice all the way to the end. That last number of every row needs to hit the target. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The name of our program is Speak Out Therapy. Say that with me. Speak Out Therapy. Parkinson's wants to bring everything back here, and you're going to learn to speak out. Get your voice in front of you. Let's do another counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We are being very deliberate and purposeful. Let's go backward. Ready? 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very good. We are done with the counting. Take a sip of water. We're going to move on to the reading. A reminder that right after this session, we have our weekly Parkinson sing-along every Thursday. I want you to plan on exercising your speech and swallowing muscles for an hour. If you are someone who's going to tell me, I do not sing, or my elementary school teacher told me I didn't have a good voice. What is it with elementary school teachers who say that? I've had so many of my patients tell me that that's what they were told when they were a child. I can't believe it. I want you to try this singing anyway. It improves breath support for speech. It will make your muscles stronger so that you have a more colorful speech. You don't end up with that Parkinson's monotone voice. You are muted when you participate in the sing-along, and so you don't have to worry that other people are going to hear you. Please try it right after this session. Our topic today is Queensland. Look how beautiful that is. Let's read these sentences with intent. We're only going to read them once because we have a long bonus reading. Ready? Queensland is the second largest state in Australia. Emphasize the highlighted words, every word with intent. Ready? It is more than twice the size of Texas. I did not know that. Did you know that? Say it with intent. Ready? Queensland is nicknamed the Sunshine State. We're just reading once today. One more. It is home to more than 150 species of lizards. I hate lizards. I would never be able to live in Queensland. And now that I've heard about these lizards, I don't know. I thought I might go visit, but I don't know. I'm afraid of them. All right, here are some of the lizards. I want you to describe this lizard, or think about a name for this lizard. I'm going to tell you what the real name is, but what do you think? Make up a name for this lizard and say it with intent. Here's the name. Eastern bearded dragon. I don't know if you can see it on here, but he does have a beard. Look at that. All right, next one. What? Oh my gosh. It just scares me to even see the picture. Okay, what do you think this is called? Make up a name. Make up a name, or if you know the answer, say it with intent. The lace monitor. I don't know. That name doesn't go with that. Big scary lizard is what I think I would call it. Okay, look at this one. Oh my gosh. What? Make up a name for this lizard. Frill-necked lizard. That's a good name. All right, take a sip of water. Take a sip of water, and we're going to move on to the bonus. Well, no, we're going to do Dr. Boone's words first. By the way, what are you scared of? Lizards? Ooh. Geckos? No. Okay, what would it be for you? You can say it with intent, or you can chat it with intent. Let's go ahead and do Dr. Boone's words. Every syllable with intent. Exaggerate the G's, the K's, and the NG's. Here we go. Gula-gang-ga-ga. Gula-gang-ga-ga. We are lifting our voice and projecting it forward. Ready? Ku-ka-mangu-ka. Ku-ka-mangu-ka. All right, ready? Gangla. Speak out. Gangla. And the last one. Kukla. Kukla. Take a sip of water. We're going to move on to the bonus reading. I received a package in the mail, a book of poems by June from Queensland. And the neat part about this is she is receiving speak out therapy at a clinic called Ascent. assent. And all of the Speak Out Therapy group members signed their names in the poem. So this was such a nice gift, and you'll be receiving a package in the mail soon. You probably haven't gotten it yet, but I'm sending back something for you and your group members. We're going to read one of June's poems. So the poem is called I Would If I Could, But I Can't. And let's read it together. It is very long, I'm going to tell you that, but you can download today's reading material and then practice this poem. So we'll get through as much as we can. We're going to read the first few lines together, and then we're going to repeat it. So you can kind of, so I want you to be able to tell how quickly or how slowly we will be reading. So let's start. I would if I could, but I can't. From these words, lessons can be learned. All right, let's do it like that. Ready? The whole poem. I would if I could, but I can't. From these words, lessons can be learned. All you need is to have a really good plan. Then can't disappears, and in its place is a can. Now, if you get behind as we're reading, you can always catch up at the highlighted word, okay? Let's go. It's not easy, believe me, I know, and progress can be slow, but once you try to do your best, put your mind and body to the test. I know my life will never be the same. It's nobody's fault. There's no one to blame. But sometimes I feel like a broken stalk, and I really struggle when I try to walk. My speech is a problem, and every day I know that I must find a new way to say my words for people to hear. I have to make them sound very clear. There's a saying I heard from long ago. It's one I'm sure that some of you know. It's good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good is better and your better best. There is a long way to go on this test, but I'm going to give it my very best. I'll work really hard with this plan until I can't becomes I can. Let's read the last part. Right here, there is. Ready? With more intent. There is a long way to go on this test, but I'm going to give it my very best. I'll work really hard with this plan until I can't becomes I can. Wonderful poem, June. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and I like your can-do attitude. That's what we need to do. We need to live with intent, which has two meanings. One, we're going to be proactive in battling Parkinson's, but then also we're going to learn to use the intentional motor system and do everything with purpose and intent. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great day.